Okay, today's lesson is about z-scores. So last time we talked about a normal curve. Your mean is always in the middle, and then you go one standard deviation up. So if you go one standard deviation up, that has a z-score of 1. 2 standard deviations, that's talking about 2 is the z-score, okay, and etc. So on this side, it would be -1, so -1 as a z-score means that the score that you have, so 145 in this case, one standard deviation below the mean. Okay, so let's just practice with this formula. The z-score equals the score that you're talking about, subtract the mean, divided by the standard deviation. Okay, so 155, we can see on a normal distribution curve should have a score of 1. So the z-score equals the score you're talking about, so 155, minus the mean over the standard deviation. So 155 subtract 150 is 5. 5 divided by 5 is a z-score of 1. Okay, so 140, so you can see that it's right here. It should have a z-score of -2, so let's try it with the formula. The z-score equals 140, subtract the mean, divided by the standard deviation. So 140 subtract 150 is -10. If it gets divided by 5, it is a z-score of -2. So what would a z-score be for 158? So 158 minus 150 over 5. So that equals 8 over 5, which is 1.6. So just, this is what we had on the other side here. I'm just going to draw it. So think about 158. 158 is right here. Does it make sense to you to have a z-score of 1.6 when you knew this has a score of 1 and this has a score of 2? Okay, it's not like a score of 157, like right in the middle, 157.5. That's not going to have an exact score, a z-score of 1.5. Okay, it's not like it's symmetrically right in the middle. Okay, 141. So 141 subtract 150 divided by 5. Okay, so that is -9 over 5, so -1.8. Okay, so if we just look going down here, this would be 145, 140, 135. Okay, so 141 would be here. Does it make sense that the z-score is -1.8, right? Because this is a -2. What score would correspond to a z-score of 0.8? Okay, so this one's different. We're going to put the z-score in, and now we're trying to figure out what the score is. Okay, so how do you solve this? You would multiply 0.8 times 5, so 4, and then add 150, so a score of 154. Now, to me, I always kind of wonder, does it make sense? The 154 would be right here. It looks like it would have a z-score of 0.8 because this has a z-score of 1. Okay, a z-score of -2.9. So what score is that going to correspond with? So I put it in the formula z-score, and I want to know the actual score I'm talking about. So times by 5, so -14.5, and then I would add 150, just doing algebra stuff. So 135.5 equals my score. So that is right here. Does it make sense to have a -2.9? Yes. because that has a negative 3 z-score.